couple weeks ago, everyone on Twitter was retweeting and starting threads all about 5 movies they thought were perfect. Well, after Sean Chandler uploaded a video on that very topic, an idea came to mind. Let's do the same thing, just on YouTube. So, before I say anything else, I am nominating 2 channels to make a video similar to this one. Film Geeks and Film Stocked. And even if you didn't get nominated, go ahead and make a video and tag 2 others anyway. This will keep the discussion going and the community growing. Now, with that out of the way, thank you for clicking on this video. This is a certain visit channel where we like to talk anything and everything movies a lot, and I am here to give you 5 films that I truly do believe are beyond perfect. Let's begin. And I feel as if I'm overstating this by now, but this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree, just let me know what your picks are in the comments, if you don't have a channel. Anyways, first up we have Whiplash, written and directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Miles Teller and Terrence J.K. Simmons. Sorry, it's just that he completely transforms into this character, so you can see why I'd be easily confused. Whiplash is the most realist movie I have ever seen. Everything that happens, everything that unfolds is strangely satisfying, but the journey to get to that point all feels too realistic. It gets cringy in a good way, because you realize that this isn't some ordinary run-of-the-mill movie where everything happens in a way to make our characters happy. No, this film drags everyone through the dirt and isn't afraid to slap the audience with a reality check. The sound mixing 1000% deserves an Academy Award, and Terrence Fletcher went down as one of my favorite supporting characters in cinematic history. Watching this film is less of an entertainment seek and more of a full-blown event. Next is going to be Spider-Man 2, a Marvel film that isn't a product of a studio, but rather a wet dream of a visionary director crafted with such love and passion for the title character that it reflects in every frame. Spider-Man 2 is the result of true filmmaking that takes into account every aspect of the art mixed in with the comic book geekiness that is inside all of us. Sam Raimi created what is still regarded as one of the best superhero films ever made, and I would contend that it is in the top 3. You've got the distinct Raimi cheesiness and humor that lends itself so well to this entire trilogy, the fantastic and iconic score by Danny Elfman, and the best live-action Peter Parker paired with my personal favorite live-action Spider-Man. A lot of times, nostalgia talks, and it talks a lot. But when you silence those memories and take in what you are watching, it feels special, like nothing you've ever seen before, because Spider-Man 2 isn't just one of the best of the genre, it's one of the most unique of the genre. And most importantly, it does what not many can do in the genre. It transcends the genre as a whole. On the flip side, we'll throw in a DC film like The Dark Knight, a film that I still regard as the greatest comic book movie ever made. Christopher Nolan was very well respected when he signed on to do Batman Begins, but he just completely changed the game with this film. He certainly brought his Nolan flair to the Batman property, and it translated absolutely beautifully. The intensity was ramped up to 11, and when the action started, it never really stopped. Every sequence was breathtaking in its own right. Christian Bale is still my favorite Batman, and no one can tell me otherwise, but at the end of the day, it really is Heath Ledger that brings this one up for me. His fabulous portrayal of the Joker is never able to escape my mind. It's what any good villain should be like. Heath and Nolan and the entire film as a whole set an example for future generations on how to do a villain right, leading this embodiment of the character to be conversed about alongside Hans Gruber, Hannibal Lecter, and many others as one of the greatest villains in cinematic history. Another Nolan flick that I believe does the near impossible and surpasses The Dark Knight also happens to be his most underrated film, and one of my favorite films ever created, The Prestige. A masterclass in narrative and storytelling. The Prestige houses 2 powerhouse performances from 2 of my favorite actors working today, delivers some of my personal favorite quotes from a Nolan film, and manages to pull off one of the greatest twists in modern cinema. The period piece setting is just the icing on the cake. It offers some old-timiness that was a great addition to Nolan's great and ever-expanding toolbox. And it just hits home for me personally, as I was always fascinated by magic growing up, and the way this film is able to take the stages of a magic trick and apply them to the actual film as a narrative structure is quite honestly brilliant in my eyes. But these are all films that I have expressed my appreciation for time after time. We need to shake things up and maybe throw in a bit of a hot take, like an animated film. Not that animated films can't be perfect, but more rather the animated film in question. You ready for it? Wreck-It Ralph. No, this is not a joke. I truly do think Wreck-It Ralph was the first Disney film in 24 years to earn the tagline, perfect, preceded by the one and only Lion King. Wreck-It Ralph is a light-hearted character study that has all the ridiculousness of the second Disney Renaissance, but that isn't afraid to get deep. The themes conveyed in the beginning come back around in the end. Our character goes through natural growth and realizes what he wanted all along isn't exactly what he needs. That
I don't need a medal to tell me I'm a good guy. Because if that little kid likes me, how bad can I be?
it's got laugh-out-loud moments, supporting characters that are memorable and that you can care for, a pretty underrated plot twist that really should get talked about more, but again, it's the heart that is the standout. It is the care to attention, the treatment of the movie as an actual film instead of a crowd pleaser for kids. I still to this day get chills down my spine when Ralph is falling through the air towards the Mentos, ready to sacrifice himself to save Sugar Rush, reciting the bad guy mantra from the beginning but actually accepting it. When he first heard everybody say these words, he kind of brushed them off, not really seeing the positives in being a bad guy for a video game. It's when he accepts his destiny and genuinely comes to terms with being a bad guy that he is able to fulfill his journey. That is one of the most powerful moments I have ever seen in animation, and it's only a taste of everything that's hiding in this film. These were only 5 films out of the many that I consider flawless. If you know any others that I didn't include, either A, make a video if you have a channel, or 2, comment them in the section down below. Again, even if I didn't nominate you at the start of this video, that doesn't exclude you from being able to participate in this project and nominating others. P.S. When you do nominate someone, make sure it isn't somebody that was already mentioned in another video, because that way we just be going in circles. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and click that bell so you never miss any future content. I do weekly live streams on the channel where I have guests over, and this week we're going to be playing trivia with the viewers, and you don't want to miss that. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at CertainVids for lots of exclusive content. Check out my podcast, The CVPC, and follow me on Letterboxd at CertainVids with a capital C and capital V to know what movies I'm watching throughout the week. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a great rest of your day and stay positive.